Alright, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it's Super here and welcome to another Mortal Kombat video. So today I'm actually going to be doing something that's been highly requested for a long time, but I've always redirected people to an old video that I made 8 years ago, talking about what you would call fighting game lingo. So for example, the one that I get asked the most, hey Super, what do you mean when you say 1, 2, 3, and 4 when you refer to, buttons like, he's mashing down 1 or something like that, or a combo string, right? 1, 1, 2 with Johnny Cage. Super, what are you talking about when you say these numbers? Which obviously is fair, because if you're new to fighting games, you hear this probably all the time and you're like, what the hell are these people talking about? Super, what the hell are you talking about? So I'm here to explain a couple of fighting game lingo terms that I use consistently that I get asked about in the comments. So leave a thumbs up on the video. Also, I'm in the description. I'm gonna put the 2 other videos that I created back in 2018. I'm gonna put them in the description so you guys could go check those videos out where I explain even more fighting game lingo. So let's get started here, and let's start with the numbers. So whenever I say stand 1, stand 2, stand 3, and stand 4, or any of those numbers that refer to attacks, it's because it's just a general number assignment that represent button attacks. Because there's going to be some people who are playing on PlayStation, some people who are going to be playing on Xbox, some people even play on PC, and the number assignment to these specific buttons is just a general term that everyone uses, so everyone could understand each other when it comes to what they're talking about as far as like buttons and combo strings, stuff like that. So let me bring up this this little chart that I made. This right here, what you guys are seeing on screen, is the numbers attached to the buttons. As far as the assignment of number attached to the button attached to an attack. So square on PlayStation, this PlayStation, I put it for both just so you guys can know. On PlayStation, square is 1, triangle is 2, X is 3, circle is 4. This makes it a lot easier for people on Xbox to understand when you're saying, hey, I'm using Johnny's 112 string, instead of, hey, I'm using Johnny's square triangles string. Or even better, maybe an attack that has X, which is a different button on the PlayStation than it is on Xbox. So it's just a general term that people use to know, to better understand what combo strings and normal attacks you're using. This has been around since even before I covered Mortal Kombat back in 2015. I just learned this over time. On Xbox, X, which on PlayStation is square. See, it gets confusing. On Xbox, X is 1, Y is 2, A is 3, and B is 4. So whenever I say I'm doing 112 with Johnny Cage, people are going to know right away that 112 is going to be this combo string right here, which is square, square, triangle, or XXY. And it makes it so much easier for people to understand each other whenever you tell them, like, hey, I'm doing this combo string, or I'm doing this normal attack. Hey, look, stand 1 is +3 on block. What is it? Anyway, +4 on block, right? I'm going to talk about plus on block right now, but Johnny Cage's stand 1 is +4 on block. It's a good, stagger to use. That's just a general term that a lot of people use to understand each other a lot easier. Other fighting games have their own numerical assignments to buttons. Even in like Arc System Works game, they have I think they have numerical assignment to the directions in which you move your characters, because there's like tri-jumps and 8-way dashing and stuff in those games. So for NetherRealm Studios, that's the general term that you're going to use: 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I hope that covered that, because it's by far the biggest question that I get asked when it comes to fighting game lingo. What the hell are you talking about when you say 112, stand 1? Oh, this is stand 1 is plus on block, stuff like that. So I hope that cleared that up. I'll put the chart up again. You guys could take a screenshot of it, you know, so you guys could know just in case you forget. But once you see it a couple times and you put in your memory bank, it's real easy to remember. All right, so now let's cover something plus on block, for example, right? All right, so I'm gonna set. I'm actually going to I'm gonna switch here to Ghostface, and I'm gonna have Johnny Cage do a stand one, stand square, and then mash down one right away. And I'll tell you guys what that, why I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna do this, not that. All right, so I'm trying my hardest. I could even block it low. I'm trying my hardest to press the button, my attack button, as soon as I can. As soon as I can, I'm gonna be mashing this. Ugh. Okay, can't do it there, can't do it there, can't do it there. The reason is because Johnny Cage is plus on block, meaning that you recover faster than your opponent recovers from the block stun of your attack. So where it says block advantage right there on the middle right side under hit advantage, you guys can see it says +4 on block, meaning that you have an extra 4 frames in which you could move before your opponent can, meaning that you could frame trap them. And frame trapping pretty much means doing an attack that your opponent cannot beat you no matter what they do. So down one, for example, right? It's 7 frames. If you shave off these 4 frames of hit advantage that you have, it makes your 7-frame attack into a 3-frame attack. So there's no 3-frame attacks in the game that are down pokes. I don't even think there's any 3-frame attacks, right? So then that makes it a frame trap. And there's way better frame traps than that. This is just an example, right? There's a lot of frame traps, you know. Same thing with Johnny's forward 3. What's his forward 3? So this is 9 frames. This is a better frame trap right here. So forward 3, 6 frames. If you do a stand 1, you are +4 on block, meaning that you shave off those 4 frames from your forward 3, making that mid a 5-frame mid. If you guys start at 0 with those 4 frames that you have as an advantage, it makes your forward 3 a 5-frame mid. So let's actually do that better so I could show you guys. Switch back to Ghostface and do that. So there it is. I'm trying to mash as much as I can, but I think Ghostface has a 7-frame stand 1 and a 7-frame down 1. So that means that if I do it correctly, there is absolutely no way. There is nothing that he could do, even if he presses it the millisecond that he can. There is nothing he could do to beat my forward 3 attack. So that right there is what you call a frame trap. That is what you call being plus on block. That is what you call plus frames. You have to pay attention to the frame data. And not all frame data is actually accurate in MK1, disappointingly enough, but you have to go by what it says in the game. And it actually tells you in training mode too. Let me see, what is this? Practice settings. Let me see, button log, damage text, frame data. So the game actually tells you frame data without even having to go into the character moves list in order to. So I'm gonna set Ghostface to block. Just block all. And it says right there, +4 on block, forward 1. I didn't even know this, but forward 1 is +3 on block. Meaning that if you follow it up with your forward 3, it's a complete frame trap. Like, they have to hold that. They have to just keep on blocking, because if they don't, then they're going to get hit. So that's what plus on block means. That's what frame trap means. Let me see, what else do people ask me about? Whiff punishing, trip guarding. So those are 2 different things. I'm using Johnny as an example because he has some of the best footsie tools in the game. But I could probably, let me see, Ghostface, what, okay. So, Ghostface, I'm just gonna do this. Alright. Oh, Ghostface, actually, with that attack is actually a little bit hard. So, whiff punishing means if your opponent misses with an attack, whether it be a normal attack, whether it be, you know, a special move or something like that, where they come up short, like this, for example, right? Hold on. Like this. That's a complete whiff, meaning that everything missed. If you do that and you catch your opponent in the middle of doing that, or you let them finish their combo string, then that's what you call a whiff punish. So right now, Ghostface is going to go in for his forward 2-1. And before his forward 2-1 finishes, I'm going to interrupt him, and that's called a whiff punish. So that right there, that's called the whiff punish. So trip guarding is different. You guys hear me do both terms. So trip guarding, let's just say someone jumps at you with a jump 3 or jump 1 or something like that, right? All right. So Ghostface is going to jump in on me. Anti-air, I think you guys know what anti-air is, right? Anti-air just means you stop your opponent's jump with an attack. So whether it be a down 2, that's an anti-air. A lot of times I try to do this because I want to try to, you know, maximize the damage that I could get. I don't know, what would be, you know, something like this, right? So you anti-air your opponent and then you go in for whatever. So that's like the anti-air, but trip guarding is a little bit different. If you don't think you're going to be able to anti-air your opponent and you don't have time to up block, or you don't up block, then you trip guard them, meaning you walk back a little bit, you make them miss their attack, and then once they miss their attack, then you connect with your attack on the ground. It works the same way like this. You guys see me do this a lot. You guys might see other people do this, where you try to crouch underneath their attack and then you punish them on the way down. That is what you call a trip guard. It's very, very strong. Obviously, up block is in this game, so you don't always need this, but it is something that is very useful, especially in games where they don't have trip guard. This is something very useful, you know, MK11, MKX, stuff like that. I mean, where you don't have up block, I should say. Obviously, you have up block in this game, but, you know, sometimes they fake that up block. And if you try to trip guard them and they fake that up block, it's still going to be your turn, as opposed to if you try to up block, they fake it, they could grab you for about 17%. But that's why sometimes you see me crouch without blocking, because if you crouch while blocking, you know, you might actually get hit. But if you crouch without blocking, you don't get that like little block. Actually, it doesn't really matter too much, but you know, sometimes you guys see me crouch and I'm like, what? I thought he was gonna jump over me. It's because I thought I was gonna be able to trip guard him on the way down. So that's trip guarding right there. Let me see, what else do people ask? Punishes, I mean, it literally says punish. Your opponent does something unsafe, you punish. Vortex, you guys hear me talk about Vortex all the time. That's why I brought in Ghostface here. You do any sort of like combo strings or anything like that, right? And then you go into your back 3, you go into something like this, and then your opponent is left standing there, and then you could hit him with an overhead or a low. So in this situation, right, do this, you could either hit him with the low, or you can hit him with the overhead. And then the thing about Vortex, that's just being like doing 50-50s. But the thing about Vortex is you put your opponent in the same situation. So I do this, and then guess what? I put him in the same situation, and I could go for that again. This is just like a simple version of this, but you could do this with Scorpion, and you could literally loop it to make it an actual Vortex. But a Vortex is just pretty much putting your opponent in a situation where you get the advantage, where you could mix them up with overheads, with lows, and then once you actually hit them, you could do it all over again and leave them in a restood position. And then you could go for the same exact thing over and over again. Smoke's Vortex of Death in MKX is a perfect example. So that's that. I don't know what else. I think that might be it. as far as some of the terms that I get asked about the most. But let me know in the comment section if you guys have any questions about this. I'll make a follow-up video if you guys don't want to go back and watch the old videos, but go back and watch the old videos. They talk about like 50-50s, punishes. It goes more in detail. I made 2 videos on that. So that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.